Listen carefully because what I'm about to share with you has the power to completely transform how you experience every single day of your life. There's something remarkable that successful people throughout history have understood. The first moments after waking up determine everything that follows. Most people wake up and immediately check their phones, letting the chaos of the world flood their minds before they've even had a chance to set their own intentions. They start their day reactive, scattered, and already defeated. But you're about to learn a different way. The way of those who take control of their minds, their emotions, and their destiny from the very first breath of each new day. The human mind is incredibly powerful, but most people never learn how to harness that power. Your subconscious mind is like a fertile garden. It will grow whatever seeds you plant in it. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, that's what will flourish in your life. But if you plant seeds of confidence, courage, and possibility, you'll create a completely different reality. Today, I'm going to give you 15 powerful things you must tell yourself every morning that will serve as those seeds. These aren't just pretty words or wishful thinking. These are scientifically backed statements that, when spoken with conviction and emotion, literally rewire your brain for success. They activate the reticular activating system in your brain, which acts like a spotlight, highlighting opportunities and solutions that align with your stated intentions. But here's the crucial part. These powerful statements only work if you commit to the process. You can't just say them once and expect miracles. You must speak them every single morning with absolute conviction for at least 30 days to begin seeing real transformation. Think of it like going to the gym. One workout won't build muscle, but consistent daily effort will transform your entire physique. The same principle applies to your mind. Are you ready? Let's begin with the first powerful thing you must tell yourself that will set the foundation for everything else. 1. Today is a new chance to begin again. Every morning when you wake up, you are standing at the threshold of infinite possibility, no matter what happened yesterday. Whether you failed, made mistakes, or fell short of your expectations, that's all in the past. Today is a blank page, and you hold the pen. Most people wake up carrying the weight of yesterday's failures, yesterday's rejections, yesterday's disappointments. They let the past contaminate the present and poison their potential future. But successful people understand a fundamental truth. Every sunrise is nature's way of telling you that it's time to start fresh. When you say, "Today is a new chance to begin again," you're not just speaking words. You're making a declaration of independence from your past limitations. You're telling your subconscious mind that you refuse to be defined by what happened before, and you're open to creating something entirely new. Think about this. Every great achievement in history began with someone deciding to start again despite previous setbacks. Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb, but each morning he woke up seeing it as a new chance to find the solution. Abraham Lincoln lost numerous elections before becoming president, but he never let past defeats determine his future actions. Your past does not equal your future unless you let it. Today is your opportunity to write a new chapter, make different choices, and move in a new direction. When you truly embrace this statement, you free yourself from the prison of regret and open yourself to the power of possibility. 2. Fear will not decide my choices today. Fear is perhaps the greatest thief of human potential. It whispers lies in your ear, telling you that you're not capable, that you'll fail, that it's safer to stay where you are. Fear convinces millions of people to live small lives, to avoid taking risks, to settle for mediocrity rather than reach for greatness. But here's what most people don't understand. Fear is not your enemy, it's information. Fear often points you toward exactly what you need to do to grow. The thing you're most afraid of is usually the very thing that will set you free. When you declare that fear will not decide my choices today, you're not saying you won't feel fear. You're saying that despite feeling fear, you will act according to your values, your goals, and your vision for your life. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's feeling the fear and choosing to act anyway. Consider every person who has ever achieved something significant. They all felt fear. The entrepreneur starting their first business is terrified of failure. The artist sharing their work is afraid of rejection. The person asking for a promotion is scared of being turned down. But they act despite the fear, and that's what separates them from those who remain stuck. Your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Every time you choose courage over comfort, action over avoidance, you expand your capacity for success. You build confidence not by avoiding scary situations, but by facing them and discovering that you're stronger than you thought. Make this declaration every morning and throughout the day. When fear tries to influence your decisions, remind yourself, I feel the fear, but I choose courage. 3. I trust myself to make the right decisions. Self-doubt is one of the most crippling mental habits you can develop. When you constantly second-guess yourself, you create paralysis. You become like a deer in headlights, frozen by the fear of making the wrong choice. But here's a liberating truth. There are no perfect decisions. There are only decisions, and then the commitment to make those decisions work. Every successful person has made countless wrong decisions, but they trusted themselves to learn, adapt, and course-correct along the way. When you tell yourself, I trust myself to make the right decisions, you're building one of the most valuable assets you can possess, self-confidence. You're telling your subconscious mind that you believe in your judgment, your intuition, and your ability to navigate life's challenges. This doesn't mean you'll never make mistakes. It means you trust yourself to learn from those mistakes and make better decisions in the future. It means you value your own opinion and stop giving your power away to others who might not have your best interests at heart. Think about the decisions you've made in your life so far. Even the ones that seemed wrong at the time probably taught you valuable lessons that helped you make better choices later. You have more wisdom than you give yourself credit for. You've survived every challenge life has thrown at you so far. That's evidence that you can trust yourself. Trust is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Start making decisions from a place of self-trust rather than self-doubt, and watch how your confidence grows. 4. My future is driven by my own decisions. This statement is about taking complete ownership of your life. Most people live as victims of circumstance, believing that their future is determined by external forces, the economy, their family background, their education, or just plain luck. But the truth is that your future is being created right now by the decisions you make every single day. Every choice you make is a vote for the kind of person you want to become and the kind of life you want to live. Choose to exercise, and you're voting for health. Choose to read instead of watching TV, and you're voting for knowledge. Choose to save money instead of spending it, and you're voting for financial freedom. The most successful people in the world understand this principle deeply. They don't wait for external circumstances to change. They change their circumstances through the power of decision. They take responsibility not just for their actions, but for their reactions to everything that happens to them. This is incredibly empowering because it means you're not at the mercy of outside forces. You might not control what happens to you, but you absolutely control how you respond to what happens to you, and your responses, accumulated over time, create your destiny. When you truly embrace this statement, you stop looking for someone to blame and start looking for ways to improve. You stop waiting for permission and start taking action. You stop being a passenger in your own life and become the driver. Remember, if you're not making decisions about your life, someone else is making them for you. Take back your power by consciously choosing your path forward. 5. I am grateful for what I have and what's coming. Gratitude is perhaps the most powerful emotion you can cultivate. It has the remarkable ability to instantly shift your mental state from scarcity to abundance, from anxiety to peace, from frustration to joy. But gratitude isn't just about feeling good, it's about creating good. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you train your brain to notice more things to be grateful for. This is because your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters information, starts looking for evidence to support your grateful mindset. Suddenly, you start noticing small blessings you previously overlooked. But this statement goes beyond just being grateful for what you currently have. It includes being grateful for what's coming. This is about having faith in your future, trusting that good things are on their way to you. This kind of anticipatory gratitude creates a magnetic quality that actually attracts positive experiences into your life. Think about it. When you're genuinely grateful and optimistic, you become more attractive to others. People want to be around positive energy. Opportunities seem to flow more easily. Doors open that were previously closed. This isn't mystical thinking. It's the natural result of approaching life with an attitude of appreciation and expectation. Gratitude also provides perspective during difficult times. When you're focused on what you appreciate, problems don't disappear, but they don't overwhelm you either. You maintain the mental clarity needed to find solutions and the emotional resilience needed to persist through challenges. Make gratitude a daily practice and watch how it transforms not just your mood, but your entire life experience. 6. I grow stronger and sharper every day. Growth is the natural state of all living things. A tree doesn't try to grow, it simply grows because that's its nature. The same is true for human beings. We are designed to expand, to learn, to become more than we were yesterday. But unlike trees, we have a choice about whether we embrace this growth or resist it. When you declare, "I grow stronger and sharper every day," you're aligning yourself with your natural tendency toward improvement. You're programming your mind to look for ways to develop your capabilities, expand your knowledge, and strengthen your character. This statement covers both physical and mental development. Stronger refers to your emotional resilience, your physical health, your spiritual foundation, all the sources of strength that help you handle whatever life brings. Sharper refers to your mental acuity, your skills, your wisdom, all the capabilities that help you navigate challenges and seize opportunities. The key is understanding that growth doesn't happen by accident. It requires intention and effort. Every day, you have countless micro opportunities to grow stronger and sharper. You can choose to read instead of scrolling social media. You can choose to have a difficult conversation instead of avoiding it. You can choose to exercise instead of being sedentary. These small choices might seem insignificant in the moment, but they compound over time. The person who grows just 1% better each day will be 37 times better by the end of the year. That's the power of consistent, incremental improvement. Remember, you're either growing or you're dying. There's no standing still in life. By consciously choosing growth every day, you ensure that you're constantly becoming a better version of yourself. 7. I am capable of handling any challenge today. Life will test you. That's not a possibility. It's a certainty. Challenges, obstacles, and unexpected problems are part of the human experience. The question isn't whether you'll face difficulties, but how you'll respond when you do. This statement builds what psychologists call self-efficacy, the belief in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. When you truly believe you can handle any challenge, you approach problems with confidence rather than anxiety. You see obstacles as puzzles to solve rather than threats to avoid. Here's the evidence that supports this statement. You're still here. You've faced challenges before and survived them all. Think about the most difficult period of your life. You made it through. Every setback you've experienced has taught you something. Every problem you've solved has made you better equipped to handle the next one. The human capacity for adaptation and resilience is extraordinary. People have survived wars, natural disasters, financial ruin, heartbreak, and countless other challenges. They've not just survived, they've often emerged stronger and wiser. You have this same capacity within you. When you face a challenge today, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How is this making me stronger?" Instead of thinking, "I can't handle this," remind yourself, "I've handled difficult things before, and I can handle this too." This mindset doesn't make challenges disappear, but it transforms your relationship with them. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become a navigator of them. You develop what military personnel call tactical optimism, the ability to remain confident and solution-focused even in difficult situations. 8. My time is valuable, and I will use it wisely. Time is the one resource that's truly irreplaceable. Once it's gone, you can never get it back. Yet, most people treat time as if it's unlimited. They waste hours on activities that don't move them toward their goals, don't bring them joy, and don't add value to their lives. When you declare that your time is valuable and you'll use it wisely, you're making a commitment to conscious living. You're saying that you'll be intentional about how you spend your hours rather than just letting time slip away without purpose. This doesn't mean every moment needs to be productive in the traditional sense. Rest, relaxation, and recreation are valuable uses of time when they're chosen consciously. The problem comes when you waste time unconsciously, scrolling social media without purpose, watching shows you don't enjoy, or engaging in activities that leave you feeling empty. Wise time use means aligning your daily activities with your values and goals. It means saying no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great ones. It means protecting your time from other people's urgencies so you can focus on your own priorities. Think about the most successful people you know or admire. They all share one characteristic. They're extremely intentional about how they use their time. They understand that time is their most precious asset and they guard it accordingly. Start treating your time like the valuable resource it is. Schedule important activities first. Eliminate or minimize time-wasting activities. Be present in whatever you're doing rather than multitasking poorly. Your future self will thank you for the time you invest wisely today. 9. I focus only on what I can control. This statement is based on one of the most fundamental principles of mental health and effectiveness: the serenity to accept what you cannot control, the courage to change what you can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Most people waste enormous amounts of mental and emotional energy worrying about things beyond their control. Other people's opinions, the weather, traffic, politics, the past, the distant future. This energy expenditure not only creates stress and anxiety, but it also robs you of the focus and energy needed to influence the things you actually can control. What can you control? Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, your responses, your effort, your attitude, your preparation, your choices. These are powerful levers that, when used consistently, can dramatically impact your life experience. When you focus exclusively on your circle of control, several things happen. First, you become more effective because you're directing your energy where it can actually make a difference. Second, you become less stressed because you're not fighting battles you can't win. Third, you often find that as you focus on what you can control, your circle of influence naturally expands. This principle is especially important during challenging times. When external circumstances are chaotic, your ability to control your internal response becomes even more valuable. You can't control an economic recession, but you can control how hard you work to improve your skills. You can't control other people's behavior, but you can control how you react to it. Practice this statement daily, and whenever you feel stressed or overwhelmed, ask yourself, is this something I can control? If yes, take action. If no, let it go and redirect your energy towards something you can influence. 10. I treat myself with kindness and respect. The relationship you have with yourself is the foundation of every other relationship in your life. If you're constantly critical, harsh, and demanding with yourself, you'll likely extend that same energy to others. But if you treat yourself with kindness and respect, you'll naturally be more compassionate and patient with everyone around you. Most people are their own worst critics. They speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to a friend. They set impossible standards and then berate themselves for not meeting them. They focus on their flaws while ignoring their strengths. This internal dialogue creates a constant state of stress and dissatisfaction. But what if you decided to become your own best friend instead of your own worst enemy? What if you spoke to yourself with the same kindness you'd show someone you care about? What if you celebrated your efforts even when the results weren't perfect? Self-kindness isn't about lowering your standards or making excuses for poor performance. It's about recognizing that you're human, that growth takes time, and that beating yourself up has never been an effective motivation strategy. In fact, research shows that self-compassion actually leads to higher achievement than self-criticism because it creates the psychological safety needed for risk-taking and learning. Treating yourself with respect means honoring your needs for rest, for nutrition, for relationships, for growth, for joy. It means setting boundaries that protect your time and energy. It means refusing to accept treatment from others that you wouldn't accept for someone you love. When you consistently treat yourself with kindness and respect, you raise your standards for how others treat you as well. You attract healthier relationships and better opportunities because you're modeling the behavior you expect from the world. 11. I am responsible for creating my own life. This is perhaps the most empowering and simultaneously challenging statement on this list. It's empowering because it puts you in control of your destiny. It's challenging because it requires you to stop blaming others and take full ownership of your results. When you accept complete responsibility for creating your own life, everything changes. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become the architect of your future. You stop waiting for someone else to save you and start saving yourself. You stop looking for excuses and start looking for solutions. This doesn't mean that everything that happens to you is your fault. External events, other people's choices, and random circumstances are often beyond your control. But your response to these events is always your choice, and your responses, accumulated over time, create your life experience. Taking responsibility is liberating because it means you have the power to change things. If your life isn't what you want it to be, you can change it. If your relationships aren't fulfilling, you can improve them. If your career isn't satisfying, you can redirect it. The power is in your hands. This mindset also builds incredible resilience. When something goes wrong, instead of asking, "Why me?" you ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of feeling powerless, you look for ways to regain control. Instead of complaining, you start creating solutions. Remember, you might not have chosen your starting point in life, but you absolutely choose your direction. You might not control every event that happens to you, but you control the meaning you assign to those events and the actions you take in response. 12. I stay committed to my goals until they are achieved. Commitment is what separates dreamers from achievers. Many people set goals, but few people maintain the dedication required to achieve them. They start with enthusiasm, but when obstacles appear or progress slows, they abandon their goals and move on to something else. But true success requires persistence through difficulties. Every worthwhile goal will test your commitment. There will be times when you feel like quitting, when progress seems impossible, when others doubt your ability to succeed. These are the moments that determine whether you join the ranks of the successful or remain among the majority who give up. When you declare that you'll stay committed to your goals until they're achieved, you're making a sacred promise to yourself. You're saying that temporary setbacks won't derail you, that slow progress won't discourage you, and that obstacles won't stop you. This commitment becomes a source of tremendous strength. When things get difficult, and they will, you won't waste energy debating whether to continue. You've already decided. Your only question becomes, how, not should I? Think about any significant achievement in your life. It required sustained effort over time. You didn't learn to walk, read, or drive in a single attempt. You persisted through failures, setbacks, and frustrations because you were committed to the outcome. The same principle applies to any goal worth achieving. Commitment also creates momentum. When people see that you are truly dedicated to something, they become more willing to help you. Resources appear, opportunities open up. Doors that were previously closed begin to open. Make this commitment real by writing down your goals and reviewing them daily. When you're tempted to quit, remind yourself why you started. Focus on the progress you've made rather than the distance remaining. 13. I see opportunities where others see obstacles. Your perception shapes your reality. Two people can face the exact same situation and have completely different experiences based on how they choose to interpret what's happening. The pessimist sees problems everywhere. The optimist sees possibilities. The successful person sees opportunities disguised as obstacles. Every great fortune, every revolutionary invention, Every breakthrough achievement began with someone seeing opportunity where others saw only problems. When others saw a dirty, noisy, dangerous form of transportation, Henry Ford saw the opportunity to revolutionize how people move. When others saw the internet as a novelty for academics, entrepreneurs saw the opportunity to transform commerce. This mindset is trainable. You can learn to look for the hidden opportunities in every challenge. When you lose a job, you can see it as an opportunity to find something better. When a relationship ends, you can see it as an opportunity to grow and find a more compatible partner. When you face a health challenge, you can see it as an opportunity to develop better habits. This doesn't mean being unrealistic or pretending that difficulties aren't real. It means asking better questions. Instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What opportunity might this create?" Instead of, "This is impossible," ask, "How could this be possible?" Instead of, "This is the end," ask, "What new beginning might this create?" Opportunity consciousness is magnetic. When you consistently look for opportunities, you train your brain to notice them. You develop what researchers call entrepreneurial alertness, the ability to spot possibilities that others miss. Start practicing this today. Whatever challenge you're facing, ask yourself, what opportunity might be hidden in this situation? You might be surprised by what you discover. 14. I turn every setback into a stepping stone. Setbacks are inevitable. Everyone faces failures, rejections, disappointments, and defeats. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't the absence of setbacks. It's the ability to transform those setbacks into stepping stones toward success. When you tell yourself that you turn every setback into a stepping stone, you're developing what psychologists call a growth mindset. Instead of seeing failure as evidence that you're not capable, you see it as information about what doesn't work and guidance toward what might work better. This perspective is revolutionary because it means you literally cannot fail as long as you keep learning and trying. Every setback becomes a valuable lesson. Every mistake becomes useful data. Every rejection becomes redirection toward a better opportunity. Consider the most successful people in any field. They all have stories of significant setbacks that ultimately led to their greatest successes. Steven Spielberg was rejected from film school 3 times before becoming one of the most successful directors in history. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first television job for being too emotionally invested, the very quality that later made her successful. The key is developing the habit of asking empowering questions after every setback. Instead of, "Why me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of, "This proves I can't do it," ask, "How can I do it better next time?" Instead of, "I'm not cut out for this," ask, "What skills do I need to develop?" This process requires emotional intelligence and resilience. You need to feel the disappointment of a setback without being overwhelmed by it. You need to acknowledge the pain without being paralyzed by it. You need to process the emotions and then choose to extract the lessons. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every pro was once an amateur. Every icon was once an unknown. They all faced setbacks, but they used those setbacks as stepping stones to climb higher. 15. No matter what happens, I will not give up. This final statement is the foundation that supports all the others. It's your declaration of unwavering persistence, your commitment to keep going no matter how difficult the journey becomes. It's the quality that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. The history of human achievement is written by those who refused to quit. They faced seemingly impossible odds, endured countless failures, and persisted when everyone else would have given up. Their secret wasn't superior talent or better circumstances. It was an unshakable commitment to continue. When you declare that you will not give up no matter what happens, you tap into a source of power that most people never access. You become unstoppable not because you don't face obstacles, but because you refuse to let obstacles stop you. This doesn't mean being stubborn or inflexible. Sometimes the path to your goal requires changing your approach, learning new skills, or finding alternative routes. But the commitment to reach your destination remains constant even when the method changes. Think about water flowing toward the ocean. When it encounters a rock, it doesn't stop. It flows around it. When it meets a cliff, it doesn't quit. It falls and continues. When it reaches a valley, it doesn't surrender. It pools until it finds an outlet. Water always finds a way because it never gives up on its purpose. You have that same persistent quality within you. Every challenge you've overcome in your life is proof of your persistence. Every goal you've achieved required you to continue when things got difficult. You already have the evidence that you won't give up. Now you're just consciously claiming that power. This statement becomes your anchor during the storms of life. When everything seems to be going wrong, when progress feels impossible, when others doubt your ability to succeed, you can return to this fundamental truth: you will not give up. And as long as you don't give up, success becomes not a matter of if, but when. Now that you understand the power of these 15 statements, let me guide you through the specific process that will transform them from words into life-changing habits. Step 1. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. This is non-negotiable. You must create sacred time for this practice. Set your alarm 30 minutes earlier than usual, and do not check your phone immediately upon waking. Your phone is filled with other people's agendas, problems, and distractions. This first 30 minutes belongs to you and your mental programming. Step 2. Find your sacred space. Locate a private area where you won't be interrupted. This could be your bedroom, bathroom, a quiet corner of your home, or even your car if necessary. The key is privacy and the ability to speak aloud without feeling self-conscious. Step 3. Stand before a mirror. If possible, position yourself in front of a mirror. Looking directly into your own eyes while speaking these statements creates a powerful connection between your conscious and subconscious mind. If a mirror isn't available, simply maintain strong, confident posture. Step 4. Speak each statement aloud. This is crucial. You must speak the words aloud, not just think them. Your voice creates vibrations that your body feels, and this physical component strengthens the neural pathways being created. Speak with conviction, power, and emotion. Step 5. Repeat each statement twice. Say each statement once as a reminder to yourself, then immediately repeat it as a command to your subconscious mind. The first repetition plants the seed, the second waters it with increased emotional intensity. Step 6. Conclude with 3 minutes of silence. After completing all 15 statements, stand or sit quietly for 3 minutes. This is when your subconscious mind processes and begins to accept the programming you've just provided. Don't think about your to-do list or problems during this time. Simply remain in a state of quiet confidence. Step 7. Choose one action. Before beginning your regular morning routine, identify one specific action you will take today that aligns with these statements. This bridges the gap between intention and implementation. The power of this morning ritual lies not in perfection, but in consistency. You must commit to this practice for a minimum of 30 consecutive days to begin rewiring your neural pathways. Missing even one day during this initial period significantly reduces the effectiveness because you're interrupting the formation of new habits. After 30 days, you'll begin to notice changes in your thinking patterns. After 60 days, others will comment on changes they see in your confidence and demeanor. After 90 days, these new thought patterns will feel natural and automatic. The transformation you're about to experience will touch every area of your life. Your relationships will improve because you'll approach them from a position of strength rather than neediness. Your career will advance because you'll make decisions from confidence rather than fear. Your health will improve because you'll treat yourself with the respect you deserve. Your finances will grow because you'll take responsibility for creating value rather than waiting for luck. But remember, knowledge without action is worthless. You now possess the same morning ritual that has transformed millions of lives. The question is not whether it works. The question is whether you'll work it. Your future self is watching this moment. They're hoping you'll make the decision to begin this practice tomorrow morning. They're counting on you to invest these 30 minutes daily in creating the life you've always dreamed of living. The alarm will ring tomorrow morning. You'll have a choice. Hit the snooze button and continue living as you always have. Or rise 30 minutes earlier and begin the transformation that will change everything. Choose transformation, choose growth, choose to become the person you were meant to be. Your extraordinary life begins tomorrow morning. Make sure you're there to claim it. You share your big dreams and goals with friends and family, hoping for support and encouragement. Instead, you get blank stares, polite smiles, and comments like, "That sounds really hard," or "Are you sure about that?" You post your plans on social media, waiting for likes and supportive comments to fuel your motivation. But the responses are lukewarm at best, and some people even question whether you're being realistic. You spend hours explaining your vision to people who just don't get it. You waste precious energy trying to convince others that your dreams are worth pursuing, defending your choices to people who will never understand your ambition. Meanwhile, you watch other people achieve exactly what you keep talking about. They seem to move forward effortlessly while you're stuck in endless conversations, seeking approval that never comes. Here's the truth. If you keep talking about your dreams and waiting for approval, someone else is already putting in the work and turning their dreams into reality. You have the same potential as those successful people. You have the same hours in your day. You have access to the same information and opportunities. So why are they making progress while you're still trying to get people to believe in you? The difference isn't talent, luck, or connections. The difference is focus. They focus on themselves and their work. You focus on getting others to approve of your work before you've even done it. They know something simple. People who succeed don't talk much. They just keep working until the results show. Most people live their lives backwards. They announce their intentions, seek permission for their dreams, and wait for the world's approval before they take action. They turn every goal into a public performance instead of private progress. Then they wonder why their energy is drained, why people don't take them seriously, why their biggest dreams never become reality. Welcome to Fluent English with Radio. We're here to help you learn more than English. We want to show you how self-focus and quiet discipline can turn ordinary people into high achievers. Today, we're sharing lessons that can change your life. These aren't just theories. They are real strategies proven by people who kept working while others only talked about it. Stop seeking approval. Break free from the validation trap. Every second you spend trying to prove your worth to people who don't really care is a second you're not investing in your own dreams. This might be the hardest truth to accept, but it's also the most liberating. Most people are too busy worried about their own lives to spend much energy caring about yours. When you pour your energy into seeking approval, you're essentially giving other people control over your life. You're letting their fears, limitations, and small thinking determine what you do with your precious time. Seeking approval is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. No matter how much validation you get, it's never enough because you haven't learned to validate yourself. Here's what happens when you live for approval. You make decisions based on what others will think instead of what serves your growth. You choose safe paths that won't attract criticism instead of bold moves that could change your life. You edit your dreams down to what others can understand instead of pursuing what truly excites you. But when you shift your focus back to yourself, everything changes. You take back control of your life. You build confidence from within. You start shaping your reality according to your own vision instead of living by committee. Stopping the need for approval doesn't mean you become arrogant or disconnected. It means you learn to recognize your own value without needing constant external confirmation. It means you decide to take charge of your life instead of living to please people who aren't even paying your bills or sharing your struggles. Let me show you how powerful this shift can be with one of the most inspiring examples in modern business history. When Elon Musk announced his plans for Tesla and SpaceX, the entire automotive and aerospace industries laughed at him. Experts said electric cars would never be mainstream. Critics called his timelines unrealistic and his goals delusional. Every rational person said Musk was wasting his time trying to compete in industries dominated by established giants. Most people in his position would have spent their energy trying to convince the doubters. They would have given presentation after presentation, trying to prove their ideas were valid. They would have modified their vision to make it more acceptable to the critics. But Musk chose a different path. Instead of seeking approval, he focused entirely on execution. While doubters debated, he built. While experts explained why it couldn't be done, he was busy doing it. Today, Tesla is one of the most valuable car companies in the world, and SpaceX is revolutionizing space travel. Musk didn't need anyone's permission to change the world. He just needed his own commitment to keep working when everyone else said it was impossible. The lesson is clear. Your dreams don't need other people's approval to become reality. They need your focused action day after day, regardless of what anyone else thinks. Here's your challenge. Stop explaining your dreams and start building them. Don't waste another day trying to convince people who aren't willing to be convinced. Instead of seeking approval, start giving it to yourself. The step is to notice when you're seeking approval instead of taking action. Watch how much time you spend talking about your goals instead of working on them. Notice how often you explain your decisions to people who aren't even part of them. Most importantly, make choices based on your own values and vision, not on what others want. When you think, "What will people say?" change it to, "What do I believe is right?" When you want to ask for permission, remind yourself, "This is my life. Why do I need approval?" Remember, successful people are busy building their own lives, not judging yours. The ones who criticize the most are often the ones doing the least. Your life is your responsibility. Your dreams are your business. Your success is your choice. Stop giving other people veto power over your future and start using your energy to create the life you actually want. Avoid comparison. Stay true to your own path. In our social media world, this trap is more dangerous than ever before. You see carefully curated highlights of other people's lives and compare them to your behind-the-scenes reality. You see someone else's success and immediately start questioning your own path. But here's what you're not seeing. You're comparing your struggles to their celebrations, your process to their results, your beginning to their middle or end. You're comparing your real life to their highlight reel and then wondering why you feel inadequate. When you get caught in the comparison trap, you start doubting decisions you were confident about yesterday. You begin copying strategies that worked for others instead of developing approaches that work for you. You waste time and energy trying to keep up with people who are on completely different journeys. Most dangerously, comparison makes you believe that there's only one way to succeed, one timeline that matters, and one definition of achievement worth pursuing. This thinking keeps you stuck because you're trying to force your unique situation into someone else's blueprint. But when you focus on your own path, everything changes. You learn to value every small step forward. You start enjoying the process of growth instead of constantly measuring yourself against others. You make real progress because you're moving at your own pace toward goals that actually matter to you. Let me show you two powerful examples of people who refused to be limited by comparison and created extraordinary results by staying true to their own unique paths. Walt Disney was told his ideas were too childish and unrealistic. When he wanted to create the first full-length animated film, industry experts said audiences would never sit through 90 minutes of cartoons. When he dreamed of building Disneyland, bankers called it a ridiculous waste of money. The entertainment industry had established rules about what worked and what didn't. Serious filmmakers made live-action dramas. Amusement parks were cheap, temporary carnival attractions. Disney's vision didn't fit into any existing category, which made everyone uncomfortable. Most people in his position would have looked at successful filmmakers and tried to copy their formulas. They would have compared their unconventional ideas to what was already working and decided to play it safe. But Disney refused to let other people's success define his path. He wasn't trying to be the next Charlie Chaplin or D.W. Griffith. He was trying to be the first Walt Disney. He focused on his unique vision of storytelling through animation and creating magical experiences that didn't exist anywhere else. The result, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs became a massive success, proving that audiences would indeed watch feature-length animated films. Disneyland revolutionized entertainment and inspired theme parks around the world. Disney created an entirely new category of success because he refused to limit himself to existing comparisons. Now, let me tell you about Serena Williams, who faced comparison and criticism throughout her entire career. From the beginning, people compared her to other tennis players and found reasons to criticize everything from her playing style to her appearance to her background. Tennis had a clear picture of what champions were supposed to be: thin, quiet, and almost always white. Serena Williams didn't fit that image, and critics reminded her of it constantly. But instead of changing to meet their expectations, she leaned into her strength, her style, and her difference, and that's exactly what made her a legend. She built a powerful, aggressive style that was completely her own. She brought fire and emotion to a sport that valued calm control. She stayed true to herself, even when others told her to hold back. The result speaks for itself: 23 Grand Slam singles titles, making her one of the greatest athletes in any sport. Williams didn't succeed by copying other players or trying to fit in. She succeeded by being authentically herself and refusing to let comparison diminish her unique strengths. These examples reveal a crucial truth. The people who achieve extraordinary results are usually the ones who stop comparing themselves to others and start maximizing their own unique advantages. Here's your path forward. Instead of looking sideways at what everyone else is doing, look forward at where you want to go. Start by avoiding things that make you compare yourself. Use social media less or unfollow people who make you feel bad. Try to spend no more than 30 minutes a day on it. Remember, social media only shows the good parts of someone's life, not the whole story. Next, set goals that match what you truly care about. For example, if you care about learning, make a goal like learn Spanish for 30 minutes every day. If you care about health, make a goal like go to the gym 3 times a week. Most importantly, start tracking your own progress instead of measuring yourself against others. Keep a daily journal where you record small wins, lessons learned, and steps taken toward your goals. When you focus on your own growth, you'll be amazed at how much progress you're actually making. Remember, everyone has a different starting point, different resources, different circumstances, and different definitions of success. Your only meaningful comparison is with who you were yesterday, not with who someone else is today. Act in silence. Protect your vision while it grows. One surprising secret of success is this: the less you talk about your goals, the more likely you are to reach them. In today's world, where people share everything, this may sound strange, but both science and real life show it works. When you announce your goals too early, several dangerous things happen. First, talking about them gives you a false sense of accomplishment. Your brain gets a small hit of satisfaction from sharing your plans, which reduces your motivation to actually execute them. Second, when you announce your goals too early, you open the door to criticism and doubt from people who don't see your vision. New ideas are fragile, like small plants just starting to grow. Too much negativity too soon can stop them before they become strong. Third, public declarations create pressure to perform on other people's timelines instead of your own. You start making decisions based on what you've promised others instead of what actually serves your progress. But when you work quietly, you protect your vision while it's still fragile. Your motivation comes from within, not from others. You avoid early criticism that could shake your confidence. You can also adjust your plans without needing to explain yourself to people who were never part of the decision. Working in silence also keeps your focus sharp. Instead of wasting energy on updates and explanations, you put it all into action. Instead of trying to meet other people's expectations, you focus only on your own progress. Most importantly, when you finally reveal your results instead of your intentions, your success speaks louder than any announcement ever could. People respect achievement more than ambition, results more than promises. Let me show you how powerful this principle can be through the story of one of Hollywood's most respected actors. Denzel Washington is known for delivering powerful, authentic performances in films like Training Day, Malcolm X, and Fences. He's won multiple Academy Awards and is considered one of the greatest actors of his generation. But his path to success was built on years of quiet, focused work that most people never saw. Before he became a household name, Washington spent years honing his craft on theater stages, in small television roles, and through intensive acting training. While other actors were networking at parties and seeking publicity, Washington was studying his craft in relative obscurity. He didn't make big announcements about becoming a movie star. He didn't post about his goals on social media or give interviews about his ambitions. Instead, he focused entirely on becoming excellent at his craft, one role at a time, one skill at a time. This quiet focus helped him find his true style as an actor without being shaped by critics or trends. He earned his reputation by doing steady, high-quality work, not by chasing publicity or hype. When Washington finally got into big Hollywood movies, his work spoke for itself. Directors chose him because they had seen his talent, not because of what he said he would do. His success came from real results, not empty promises. Today, Denzel Washington is more than a successful actor. He is a cultural icon who has inspired a whole generation of performers. His career proves the power of letting your work speak louder than your words. Here's how you can apply this principle in your own life. Keep your biggest goals private until you have significant progress to show. Share your dreams only with people who deserve to hear them. Talk to mentors who can guide you, friends who truly support you, or advisors who can give real help. Choose people who want you to succeed, not those who feel threatened by your goals. Instead of announcing your intentions, focus on planning your actions. Create detailed plans that break your big goals into smaller, manageable steps. Plan your next 10 years, your next year, your next month, your next week, and your next day. The clearer your plan, the less you'll need to talk about it because you'll be too busy executing it. Avoid the temptation to post about your goals on social media. Instead of seeking likes and comments for your intentions, channel that energy into actual work. Write your goals in a private journal where you can track your real progress without outside influence. When people ask about your plans, practice giving general answers that don't reveal your specific strategies. You can say you're working on some personal projects or focusing on self-improvement without going into details that invite unwanted opinions. Most importantly, let your results be your announcement. When you achieve something significant, that's when you share it. People are much more impressed by accomplished facts than by ambitious plans. Remember, the most powerful movements in history started with individuals working quietly, building strength and momentum before they revealed themselves to the world. Your success deserves the same protection and focused development. Manage your energy like a precious resource. Your energy is the most valuable currency you possess. Unlike money, which you can always earn more of, your daily energy is limited and irreplaceable. How you invest this precious resource determines whether you build the life you want or drift through years of mediocrity. Most people act like their energy will never run out. They waste it on drama, distractions, and trying to explain themselves to people who don't matter. They spend their best time on other people's priorities and then wonder why they feel tired and unsatisfied. But successful people know that managing energy is the key to achievement. They guard their mental and emotional energy carefully. They use it wisely on actions that grow stronger over time. They stay away from things that only drain them and create stress. When you manage your energy wisely, several powerful things happen. Your mind stays clear and focused on what truly matters. You recognize opportunities that others miss because they're too scattered to see them. You have the stamina to persist through challenges that stop most people. Energy management also affects the quality of your decisions. When you're mentally fresh and emotionally centered, you make choices that serve your long-term goals. When you're drained and scattered, you make reactive decisions that often create more problems than they solve. Let me show you what proper energy management looks like through the example of one of the most productive entrepreneurs of our time. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, has led the company to unprecedented success by treating his energy as a strategic resource. Cook is famous for starting his day at 3:45 a.m., not because he's trying to impress anyone, but because those early morning hours give him uninterrupted time to focus on what matters most. While most people are still sleeping, Cook is reading emails, reviewing reports, and making important decisions with a fresh, clear mind. He gets his most important work done before the distractions and demands of the day begin. Cook also protects his energy by being extremely selective about meetings and commitments. He delegates extensively so he can focus on the strategic decisions that only he can make. He avoids energy-draining activities that don't contribute to Apple's mission. This disciplined approach to energy management has helped Cook lead Apple through its most successful period in company history. Under his leadership, Apple has become the most valuable company in the world, proving that how you manage your energy directly impacts what you can achieve. Now let me show you what happens when someone fails to manage their energy properly. Many talented people destroy their potential by spreading their energy too thin. They say yes to every request, chase every opportunity, and try to please everyone. They spend their mornings checking social media, which fills their minds with other people's problems and opinions. They waste their peak energy hours on unimportant tasks and then wonder why they don't have motivation left for their most important goals. By the end of each day, they're exhausted but haven't made meaningful progress on anything that truly matters to them. They're busy but not productive, active but not effective. The difference between these two approaches isn't talent or opportunity, it's energy management. One approach builds your power over time, while the other spreads it so thin that nothing important gets done. Here's how you can start managing your energy like the precious resource it is. First, identify and eliminate energy drains from your daily routine. Delete apps that serve no productive purpose. Turn off notifications that constantly interrupt your focus. Put your phone in airplane mode during your most important work hours. Create physical and digital boundaries that protect your mental space. Use noise-canceling headphones when you need to concentrate. Set up a dedicated workspace where you can think clearly without distractions. Second, start each day by feeding your mind with positive, empowering input instead of negative news or social media. Read something inspiring. Listen to educational content, or simply spend a few minutes in quiet reflection about your goals. This shapes your mindset for the whole day. When you begin with positivity and purpose, you're more likely to carry that energy with you until the end. Third, Schedule your most important work during your peak energy hours. Most people have their clearest thinking and strongest motivation in the morning, but pay attention to your own patterns. Whenever your mind feels sharpest, that's when you should tackle your most challenging and important tasks. Fourth, learn to say no to requests that don't align with your priorities. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to something that could change your life. Protect your time and energy for the people and projects that truly matter. Finally, surround yourself with people who add energy to your life instead of draining it. Spend time with individuals who inspire you, challenge you to grow, and support your ambitions. Distance yourself from people who constantly complain, create drama, or try to pull you into their negative mindset. Your energy today determines your results tomorrow. Treat it with the respect it deserves, and it will reward you with the focus and stamina needed to achieve your biggest goals. Turn doubt into fuel. Transform criticism into strength. Doubt from others is normal when you chase something meaningful. The bigger your dreams, the more criticism you will face. This often means your vision is strong enough to challenge the usual way of things, and that makes people uncomfortable. Here's what many people miss. Doubt from others usually doesn't show your limits. It shows theirs. It often comes from their own fears, failures, and beliefs. When someone says something is impossible, they're really talking about what they can't do, not what you can do. Some people doubt you because your progress shows them they are not moving. Your growth makes them see they are stuck. Your courage shows their fear. Instead of being inspired, they try to pull you down. Successful people use doubt to push themselves forward. They know most criticism comes from people who aren't even doing the work. The ones who really succeed are too busy with their own goals to waste time bringing others down. When you turn doubt into determination, you gain the strength to keep going through challenges that stop most people. Every no pushes you to prove them wrong. Every criticism shows you what to improve. Every setback becomes a chance to come back stronger. Let me show you two perfect examples of people who used doubt as their primary source of motivation. Michael Jordan is widely considered the greatest basketball player who ever lived, but his journey to greatness began with rejection that could have ended his career before it started. In high school, Jordan was cut from his varsity basketball team. The coach told him he wasn't tall enough, skilled enough, or good enough to play at that level. Most teenagers would have been devastated and given up on their basketball dreams. But Jordan made a choice that changed everything. Instead of accepting the coach's judgment, he decided to use it as fuel. Every day after being cut, he practiced with even more intensity. He used the rejection as proof that he had something to prove. Jordan later said that being cut from his high school team was the best thing that ever happened to his basketball career because it gave him the motivation to outwork everyone else. That disappointment became the foundation of an obsession with excellence that drove him to 6 NBA championships and global iconic status. The coach who cut Jordan was evaluating based on current ability, but Jordan was building toward future potential. The doubt was real, but it was also temporary. Jordan's response to that doubt determined everything that followed. Now let me tell you about Mark Zuckerberg, who faced massive doubt when he started Facebook from his college dorm room. When Zuckerberg launched the Facebook at Harvard, existing social media platforms like MySpace and Friendster dominated the market. Investors initially rejected Facebook, saying it was just a fad that would fade away like many other internet trends. Critics said college students would lose interest once they graduated and entered the real world. Many people in Zuckerberg's position would have listened to the experts and either given up or tried to copy what was already working. The safe choice would have been to focus on his studies and pursue a traditional career path. Instead of being discouraged by rejection, Zuckerberg became more determined to build something that worked. He focused on creating a better user experience than existing platforms and expanding beyond college campuses. Today, Facebook, now Meta, connects billions of people around the world and has fundamentally changed how humans communicate. Zuckerberg is recognized as one of the most successful tech entrepreneurs in history. The doubt that surrounded his early efforts now seems laughably wrong. These examples show a simple truth. When others doubt you, it often means your idea is big. Small ideas don't get much criticism. Big visions make people uncomfortable, and that's why they can change everything. Here's how you can transform doubt into your competitive advantage. First, think about where the criticism comes from. Is it from someone who has already done what you want to do? Are they speaking with real experience or just out of fear? Are they giving advice to help you or only to feel better about their own limits? Advice from successful people in your field deserves attention. Criticism from people who haven't built what you're building deserves much less weight in your decision-making process. Second, try to find something useful in the criticism. Even if the message feels negative, there may be a small point that helps you improve. Take the helpful part and ignore the rest. Third, use doubt as proof that your goals are big enough to matter. If everyone immediately understood and supported your vision, it probably isn't ambitious enough to create significant change. Revolutionary ideas always face initial resistance. Fourth, prepare a simple response to doubt that keeps you focused. If someone says your dream won't work, just reply, "Thanks for your opinion," and keep going. Don't waste time or energy trying to convince people who don't want to believe. Finally, keep track of your progress to see how far you've come. When doubt hurts your confidence, look back at the challenges you've already faced and the goals you've already reached. Your past success shows you what you can achieve in the future. Remember, the people who achieve extraordinary results are rarely the ones who faced the least doubt. They're the ones who used doubt as fuel to work harder, think smarter, and persist longer than everyone else. Build discipline, the foundation of lasting success. Motivation gets you started, but discipline gets you results. Motivation is an emotion that comes and goes like weather. Discipline is a decision you make regardless of how you feel. When you base your actions on motivation, you work inconsistently and achieve mediocre results. When you build discipline, you create unstoppable momentum toward your goals. Discipline is hidden freedom. It may feel restrictive, but it saves you from the cost of bad choices. If you wake up early with discipline, you get more hours for what matters. If you save money with discipline, you get safety and options. If you stay focused with discipline, you can reach goals that seem impossible to those without it. Most people avoid discipline because they think it takes away fun, but the truth is the opposite. Without discipline, you face regret, stress, and lost chances, which bring no joy. With discipline, you gain success, confidence, and the happiness of becoming your best self. Discipline grows stronger over time. Each discipline choice makes the next one easier. Every day you keep your promises, your mind becomes stronger for future challenges. Every small win shows you can trust yourself to do what you say. Building discipline starts with knowing it's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. You don't need to control every part of your life at once. Just choose one or two important areas where discipline will help the most and start from there. Start with something simple but important, like waking up at the same time every day or exercising for 20 minutes each morning. Small, steady actions train your mind for discipline, and later you can use that strength for bigger challenges. The key is to keep promises to yourself, even if they are small. If you say you will do something, then do it. Each choice builds trust with yourself, and that trust shapes what you believe you can achieve in the future. Discipline also means setting up your environment to make goals easier. If you want to read more, put books in easy-to-see places and put your phone in another room. If you want to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with nutritious foods and remove the junk. Make good choices simple and bad choices difficult. Most importantly, connect discipline to your real purpose. When you know the reason behind what you do, it won't feel like a punishment. It will feel like a step toward the life you want. Every disciplined choice moves you closer to that life. Every day you practice discipline, you prove to yourself that you're serious about your goals. The compound power of self-focus. These habits don't just add up, they multiply and make each other stronger. Silent action becomes more powerful when you're not wasting energy on approval seeking. Discipline becomes easier when you're not constantly comparing yourself to others. Energy management becomes natural when you're focused on your own path instead of everyone else's opinions. This is why successful people often achieve more. They don't have extra hours or secret talents. They simply focus their time and energy on what really matters instead of wasting it on other people's priorities. When you focus fully on your own growth, goals, and progress, you reach a state of flow that most people never experience. You stop wasting energy on distractions and start directing it clearly toward your objectives. This focused approach also creates momentum that becomes self-sustaining. Each small win builds confidence for bigger challenges. Each disciplined choice makes the next one feel natural. Each day of consistent action moves you closer to the life you've always imagined. But here's what's most important. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen by accident. It requires a daily commitment to choosing your own path over the path of least resistance. Every morning, you wake up with a decision. You can spend your day seeking approval, comparing yourself to others, talking instead of acting, wasting energy on distractions, and letting doubt hold you back. Or you can focus on yourself, protect your energy, work quietly, and build the discipline for long-term success. Your real change starts now. Here's the reality. The life you want will not happen by accident. No one will hand it to you. It won't appear just because you wished or waited. The life you want comes when you focus on yourself, act quietly, and push through doubt. It comes when you stop asking for permission and start taking action. It's ready for you to claim, but only if you do what most people won't do. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not extraordinary people. They're ordinary people who made an extraordinary commitment to focus on themselves instead of seeking validation from others. They decided to act in silence instead of seeking applause for their intentions. They chose to build discipline instead of hoping motivation would carry them through. They transformed doubt into fuel instead of letting it extinguish their dreams. You don't need to change everything overnight. Start with one habit, one choice, one small action you can repeat every day. Over time, these small actions will build the foundation for bigger changes. Remember, progress is not about perfection, it's about consistency. Every time you follow through, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you are capable of change. That belief is what fuels long-term success. So, don't wait for the right moment. The right moment is now. Take one small step today and then another tomorrow. Soon you'll look back and realize those simple steps reshaped your entire life. If this message encouraged you to take action, support us by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to Fluent English with Riadio. Our mission is to guide you toward becoming more confident, more focused, and more successful every single day. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest lessons and messages. Remember, you're not on this path alone. At Fluent English with Riadio, we're here to grow with you, step by step. We'll remind you of your strength, celebrate your wins, and help you keep moving forward through challenges. Your next choice can change everything. We're honored to be part of your journey. Until next time, keep practicing, keep believing, and keep building the life you truly want. There's something that happens in the quiet moments of the night. You close your eyes, trying to sleep, but your mind has other plans. Suddenly, memories from your past begin playing like an endless movie in your head. Maybe you remembered a mistake you made years ago. Maybe you thought about someone who hurt you. Maybe you replayed a conversation where you said the wrong thing, or remembered an opportunity you let slip away. And as these thoughts circled in your head, you felt that familiar weight in your chest, that heaviness that whispers, "If only I could go back, if only I could change what happened." We've all been there. Every single person watching this video has wrestled with their past. Some people try to hide from it. Others talk about it endlessly. Some lock it away in the deepest corners of their hearts. But here's the truth that most people never realize. Your past doesn't have to be a prison. Today, we're going on a journey together, a journey from pain to peace, from regret to hope, from yesterday to tomorrow. If you're tired of carrying the weight of what was, if you're ready to learn how to let go and move forward, then stay with me. Because what I'm about to share with you has the power to change everything. The invisible backpack. Picture this. You wake up every morning and put on an invisible backpack. At first, when you were young, this backpack was light. Maybe it contained just a few small disappointments or minor embarrassments. But as you've grown older, you've been adding more and more to this pack. Every mistake becomes a heavy stone. Every failure becomes a brick. Every harsh word spoken to you becomes a weight you carry. Every opportunity you missed becomes another burden on your shoulders. Day after day, year after year, you've been loading this backpack with the remnants of your past. Now imagine trying to run a race while carrying this massive weight. Imagine trying to reach for your dreams while your shoulders are bent forward from all you're carrying. Imagine trying to embrace new opportunities while your hands are busy holding on to old pain. This is how most people live their entire lives. They carry their past everywhere they go. To work, to new relationships, to family gatherings, even to bed at night. No wonder they feel exhausted. No wonder they feel stuck. No wonder life feels harder than it should be. But here's what I want you to understand. That backpack isn't locked onto your shoulders. You can take it off. You can unload those stones. You can walk free. The question isn't whether you can let go. It's whether you're ready to make that choice. Think about the weight you're carrying right now. What stones are in your backpack? Is it guilt over something you did? Anger towards someone who hurt you? Regret over a path you didn't take? These weights aren't serving you. They're not making you stronger or wiser. They're just making your journey harder. When you recognize what you're carrying, you take the first step toward freedom. Because awareness is the beginning of change, you can't drop what you don't acknowledge you're holding. For example, imagine Sarah, a 35-year-old teacher who struggled with perfectionism. Every mistake at work sent her into days of self-criticism. She carried stones of childhood criticism from a demanding parent who never seemed satisfied with her achievements. Once Sarah recognized she was carrying her father's voice in her head, judging every imperfection, she could finally begin to put down that particular stone. Action step. Take a moment right now to write down 3 stones you're carrying in your invisible backpack. Maybe it's guilt over a relationship that ended badly. Maybe it's shame about a financial mistake you made years ago. Maybe it's resentment towards someone who didn't support you when you needed them. Be specific. Name these stones clearly because you can only release what you're willing to acknowledge. The trap of if only. There are 2 words that have destroyed more dreams and stolen more joy than almost anything else in human language. 2 seemingly innocent words that create one of the most dangerous mental traps. If only. If only I had studied harder, I would have a better job. If only I had been braver, I would have told them how I felt. If only I had taken that opportunity, my life would be different. These thoughts feel almost comforting at first. They let you imagine a different version of your life, a better story, a happier ending. But that comfort is an illusion because every moment you spend in if only is a moment stolen from what now. Here's the brutal truth about if only thinking. It's a prison disguised as a palace. You think you're exploring possibilities, but you're actually trapped in a maze with no exit. You can walk through that maze for hours, days, even years, but you'll always end up back where you started, in the present moment, with the same life you're trying to escape. The real danger of if only is that while you're lost in regret, life keeps moving, opportunities appear and disappear. People come and go, time passes, and you miss it all because your eyes are fixed on yesterday. But there's a way out of this trap. Every time you catch yourself saying, if only, stop. Take a breath, then ask yourself a different question. What can I do now? Instead of, if only I had learned a new skill years ago, ask, what skill can I start learning today? Instead of, if only I had been kinder to that person, ask, how can I be kinder to the people in my life now? Instead of, if only I had saved more money, ask, how can I start building better financial habits today? This simple shift from if only to what now changes everything. If only makes you weak and powerless. What now makes you strong and capable. If only keeps you stuck. What now sets you free. The past is gone. You can't change it, rewrite it, or live it differently, but the future is still unwritten, and what now is the pen in your hand. Pain as your teacher. Pain has a terrible reputation. We run from it, hide from it, try to numb it with distractions or substances. But pain isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. And like any good teacher, it has lessons that can transform your life if you're brave enough to listen. Every wound carries wisdom. Every failure contains instruction. Every disappointment holds a message about what you truly value. The question isn't whether you'll experience pain. That's inevitable. The question is whether you'll learn from it. When someone breaks your heart, pain teaches you about trust, boundaries, and self-worth. When you fail at something important, pain teaches you about preparation, persistence, and humility. When you lose someone you love, pain teaches you about gratitude, presence, and the preciousness of time. But here's the key: the lesson only comes when you stop running and start asking the right question. Instead of, why did this happen to me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? This shift in perspective doesn't minimize your pain or make it disappear, but it transforms your relationship with that pain. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and become a student of life. You stop wasting your suffering and start using it to grow. Think about the most difficult experience of your life. I know it hurts to remember it, but what did it teach you? How did it change you? What strengths did you discover in yourself that you didn't know existed? What values became clearer to you? That difficult experience wasn't just something that happened to you, it was something that happened for you. It was life's way of preparing you for what comes next. It was your teacher disguised as your tormentor. When you can see your pain as education rather than punishment, you graduate from suffering and move into wisdom. You stop being defined by what hurt you and start being refined by what you learned. Forgiving yourself. Of all the people you'll encounter in your lifetime, there's one who will judge you more harshly than anyone else. One who will remember every mistake, replay every failure, and remind you of every shortcoming. That person is you. We are our own harshest critics. We speak to ourselves with a cruelty we would never show a friend. We hold ourselves to impossible standards and punish ourselves when we inevitably fall short. We become both the prisoner and the guard of our own mental jail. But self-forgiveness isn't about pretending your mistakes didn't happen or making excuses for poor choices. It's about recognizing a fundamental truth. You are human. You were not born with perfect knowledge or flawless judgment. You were born to learn, to grow, to make mistakes, and try again. Every decision you made with the information and emotional capacity you had at that moment. Could you have done better if you knew then what you know now? Of course, but you didn't know then what you know now. That's exactly why it's called learning. Self-forgiveness starts with a simple but powerful statement. I did the best I could with what I knew at the time. Now I know better, so I will do better. This isn't about lowering your standards or avoiding responsibility. It's about treating yourself with the same compassion you would show a friend who made the same mistake. It's about recognizing that punishing yourself doesn't change the past. It only poisons the present. When you forgive yourself, something beautiful happens. The energy you were using to carry guilt gets freed up. The mental space occupied by self-criticism becomes available for creativity and growth. The heart that was closed by shame opens to possibility. You stop walking through life bent over by the weight of your mistakes and start standing tall, ready to face whatever comes next. You stop being haunted by who you were and start being excited about who you're becoming. Remember, forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's choosing not to let the past control your future. It's deciding that you are more than the worst thing you've ever done. Choosing to move forward. Here's something most people don't understand about anger and resentment. They're not punishing the people who hurt you, they're punishing you. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. But moving forward doesn't always mean forgiveness. Let me be clear about this because it's important. You don't have to forgive everyone who hurt you. Forgiveness is a personal choice, and it's not always the right choice for every situation. What you do have to do is choose not to let those who hurt you continue controlling your life. You have to decide that your peace of mind is more important than your right to be angry. You have to choose your future over your past. Sometimes that choice looks like forgiveness, releasing resentment, and wishing the person well. Sometimes it looks like boundaries, cutting toxic people out of your life and protecting yourself from further harm. Sometimes it looks like justice taking appropriate action to ensure accountability. But in all cases, it looks like this: refusing to let someone else's actions determine your emotional state, refusing to give them the power to steal your joy, your peace, or your progress. The person who hurt you may never apologize. They may never understand the pain they caused. They may never face consequences for their actions. You can't control any of that, but you can control whether you let their actions continue to hurt you. Moving forward is about reclaiming your power. It's about saying, "What you did to me was wrong, but I won't let it define me. I won't let it limit me. I won't let it destroy me. I am choosing to be bigger than what happened to me." This choice isn't easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. Some days you'll feel strong and free. Other days, the old anger will creep back in. That's normal. Healing isn't linear, but every time you choose your peace over your pain, you get a little bit stronger. Every time you choose your future over your past, you move a little bit closer to freedom. The goal isn't to pretend the hurt never happened. The goal is to make sure the hurt doesn't happen again, not because someone else stops hurting you, but because you stop letting their actions hurt you. The rear-view mirror principle. When you're driving a car, you have a large windshield in front of you and a small rear-view mirror behind you. Have you ever wondered why the windshield is so big and the mirror is so small? It's because where you're going is more important than where you've been. Life works the same way. Your future should get most of your attention, your dreams, your goals, your possibilities. Your past should only get occasional glances, just enough to learn from it and avoid repeating mistakes. But most people live their lives backwards. They spend most of their mental energy staring into the rearview mirror of their past, only occasionally glancing at the windshield of their future. They know every detail of what went wrong yesterday but can't clearly see the opportunities available today. When you drive while staring in the rearview mirror, you crash. When you live while obsessing over your past, you miss your present and ruin your future. This doesn't mean you should never look back. The rearview mirror is important. It helps you stay aware and avoid danger, but it's meant for quick glances, not long stares. You check it, learn what you need to learn, then turn your attention back to where you're going. Your past is a reference, not a residence. It's a lesson, not a life sentence. It's something that happened to you, not something that defines you. The question isn't whether you have a past worth regretting. We all do. The question is whether you're going to let that past determine your future. Are you going to keep staring in the rearview mirror, or are you going to focus on the open road ahead? Your windshield is clear and wide because your future is full of possibility. Your rearview mirror is small because your past, no matter how painful, is just a fraction of your whole story. The best chapters are still being written. So, take a quick look back if you need to. Learn the lesson, then turn your eyes forward and keep driving. Your destination is ahead of you, not behind you. Building your new future. When you let go of the past, you create empty space in your heart and mind. This space must be filled, or your thoughts will naturally drift back to old memories and painful experiences. The key to lasting change is not just releasing what was, but building what will be. Your new future starts with a vision. What kind of life do you want to create? What kind of person do you want to become? What experiences do you want to have? What relationships do you want to build? What contributions do you want to make? This isn't about creating a perfect plan for your entire life. It's about giving yourself direction and purpose. When you know where you're going, every step becomes meaningful. When you have goals to pursue, past regrets lose their power to distract you. But vision alone isn't enough. Dreams without action remain dreams. The future is built through daily choices, small, consistent actions that compound over time into significant results. If you want to be healthier, start with a 10-minute walk today. If you want to be more educated, read one page of a good book. If you want better relationships, make one phone call to someone you care about. If you want financial freedom, save $1. These actions seem small, almost insignificant, but they're not. They're the building blocks of transformation. Each positive choice creates momentum. Each good habit makes the next good habit easier. Each step forward increases your confidence and strengthens your belief in what's possible. The beautiful thing about building a new future is that it doesn't require you to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers or make all the right choices. You just need to consistently choose growth over stagnation, progress over perfection, and forward over backward. Every day you work on your future is a day you're not imprisoned by your past. Every goal you pursue is a declaration that your best days are ahead of you. Every dream you chase is proof that you believe in your ability to create something better. Your past gave you experience. Your present gives you opportunity. Your future gives you hope. Focus on what you're building, not what you're leaving behind. Rewriting your story. The story you tell yourself about your life becomes your reality. If you see yourself as a victim of circumstances, you'll live like a victim. If you see yourself as a survivor who overcame adversity, you'll live with strength and resilience. The facts of your past can't be changed, but the meaning you assign to those facts is entirely up to you. You can choose to frame your difficult experiences as evidence of life's unfairness or as proof of your ability to endure and grow. This isn't about lying to yourself or pretending bad things didn't happen. It's about choosing which aspects of your story to emphasize. Every experience has multiple dimensions: the pain and the lesson, the loss and the growth, the ending and the new beginning. Instead of telling the story of how someone broke your heart, tell the story of how you learned to love yourself. Instead of focusing on the job you lost, celebrate the strength you found. Instead of dwelling on the opportunity you missed, highlight the wisdom you gained. When you change your story, you change your identity. When you change your identity, you change your possibilities. When you change your possibilities, you change your life. This process takes time and practice. You've been telling yourself the old story for years, maybe decades. It won't change overnight. But every time you consciously choose to frame your experiences in terms of growth rather than damage, resilience rather than victimhood, and hope rather than despair, you rewrite a little more of your narrative. Eventually, the new story becomes your default. Instead of seeing yourself as someone things happened to, you see yourself as someone who makes things happen. Instead of feeling powerless, you feel capable. Instead of being defined by your worst moments, you're inspired by your strongest ones. Your story is still being written. The chapters that came before have shaped you, but they don't have to confine you. You hold the pen. You choose what comes next. Action step. Write 2 versions of your life story. Version 1. Focus on what went wrong, what you lacked, and how you were victimized. Version 2. Focus on what you survived, what you learned, and how you grew stronger. Include the same major events in both versions, but frame them differently. Notice how each version makes you feel about yourself and your possibilities. Choose to tell yourself version 2 going forward, emphasizing your resilience, growth, and wisdom rather than your wounds and limitations. The power of support. Healing from the past and building a better future isn't something you have to do alone. In fact, trying to do it alone often makes it harder and slower than it needs to be. Connection and support are not signs of weakness, they're signs of wisdom. When you share your struggles with trusted friends, family members, or professionals, several powerful things happen. First, you realize you're not alone in your pain. Everyone has battled their past in some way. This normalizes your experience and reduces the shame that often accompanies difficult memories. Second, other people can offer perspectives you can't see from inside your own experience. They can help you recognize patterns, identify blind spots, and see possibilities you've overlooked. Sometimes an outside view is exactly what you need to break free from old thinking patterns. Third, when you speak your pain out loud, it often loses some of its power over you. Secrets and shame grow in isolation. When brought into the light of honest conversation, they often shrink. But not everyone in your life is equipped to provide the support you need. Choose your confidants carefully. Look for people who listen without judgment, offer hope without minimizing your pain, and encourage growth without rushing your process. If your past involves trauma, abuse, or mental health challenges, consider working with a professional counselor or therapist. They have specialized training in helping people process difficult experiences and develop healthy coping strategies. Support groups can also be incredibly valuable, especially if you've experienced specific types of loss or trauma. Being around others who truly understand what you've been through can be profoundly healing. Remember, asking for help isn't admitting failure. It's choosing success. It's recognizing that you're worth the investment of time, energy, and possibly money required to get better. It's understanding that you don't have to carry your burdens alone. The strongest people aren't those who never need help. They're those who are brave enough to seek it when they do. Action step. Identify one area where you've been trying to handle everything alone. Reach out to at least 2 people this week. This could be calling a friend to talk, joining a support group, scheduling a session with a therapist, or asking a mentor for guidance. If reaching out feels difficult, start by texting someone. I'm going through a tough time and could use someone to talk to. Are you free this week? Notice that most people are honored to be trusted with your struggles and want to help. Create a list of 3 to 5 people you can contact when you need support so you have options ready when difficult times arise. Living in the present. The past is gone and can't be changed. The future is uncertain and largely beyond your control. The only moment you truly possess is this one right now. Yet most people spend their lives anywhere but in the present. They're either replaying past events they can't change or worrying about future scenarios they can't predict. They miss the beauty, opportunity, and peace available in this moment because their minds are elsewhere. Living in the present doesn't mean you never think about the past or plan for the future. It means you don't let those thoughts steal your ability to fully experience what's happening now. It means you can remember without being trapped by memory and plan without being paralyzed by uncertainty. Mindfulness, the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment, is one of the most powerful tools for breaking free from past and future obsessions. When you notice your mind drifting to old regrets or future worries, gently bring your attention back to what's happening right now. What do you see around you? What sounds do you hear? What sensations do you feel in your body? What emotions are present? This isn't about having a positive experience every moment. It's about having a real one. When you're fully present, something remarkable happens. Past regrets lose their emotional charge because you're not feeding them with your attention. Future anxieties diminish because you're not catastrophizing about what might happen. You discover that the present moment, even if it's not perfect, is manageable. Presence is also where your power lives. You can't change anything from the past. That's already happened. You can't directly control the future. That hasn't happened yet. But you can influence what happens right now through your choices, actions, and responses. The present moment is where healing happens. It's where relationships are built. It's where progress is made. It's where life is actually lived. Don't let the ghosts of yesterday or the shadows of tomorrow rob you of the gift of today. Creating new habits. Your past isn't just a collection of memories, it's also a set of habits. Ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving that became automatic through repetition. If you want to create a different future, you need to create new habits to replace the old ones. This is both challenging and hopeful. It's challenging because changing ingrained habits takes conscious effort and time. It's hopeful because it means you're not stuck with the habits that have limited you. You can literally rewire your brain through new choices and experiences. Start small. Identify one habit from your past that no longer serves you. Maybe it's the tendency to assume the worst in situations. Maybe it's the habit of isolating when you're stressed. Maybe it's the habit of negative self-talk when you make mistakes. Now choose a new habit to replace it. Instead of assuming the worst, practice looking for potential positive outcomes. Instead of isolating, reach out to supportive people. Instead of self-criticism, practice self-compassion. The key is consistency, not perfection. Every time you choose the new habit over the old one, you strengthen new neural pathways in your brain. Every time you catch yourself falling into old habits and consciously choose differently, you weaken those old pathways. It typically takes several weeks to several months to establish new habits, depending on their complexity and how long you've been practicing the old ones. Be patient with yourself during this process. Change is gradual and setbacks are normal. Track your progress by keeping a simple journal or using a habit tracking app. Notice the circumstances that trigger old habits and develop strategies for handling those situations differently. Celebrate small victories along the way. Remember, you're not trying to become a different person. You're trying to become the best version of yourself. The goal isn't to eliminate all traces of your past, but to ensure your past doesn't eliminate all possibilities for your future. The practice of gratitude. One of the most powerful tools for shifting your focus from past regrets to present blessings is gratitude. When you regularly acknowledge what's going well in your life, you train your brain to notice positive experiences rather than dwelling on negative ones. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect or minimizing real problems. It's about creating balance in your perspective. Pain and trauma deserve acknowledgement, but so do the good things in your life, even if they seem small. Every evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for from that day. They don't have to be major events. Maybe it's a kind word from a coworker, a good meal, a beautiful sunset, or simply having a warm bed to sleep in. The practice of looking for these moments trains your attention and gradually shifts your default mindset. Gratitude has a fascinating psychological effect. It's nearly impossible to feel genuinely grateful and genuinely miserable at the same time. When you're focused on appreciation, there's less mental space for rumination and regret. This doesn't mean you should try to feel grateful for traumatic experiences or minimize their impact. Rather, gratitude helps you recognize that your difficult past is not the whole story of your life. There are also threads of goodness, kindness, beauty, and hope woven throughout your experience. Over time, gratitude becomes a habit of mind. You start naturally noticing positive aspects of your daily experience. This creates an upward spiral. The more good you notice, the better you feel. The better you feel, the more likely you are to create positive experiences. The more positive experiences you have, the more reasons you have to be grateful. Gratitude also connects you with others in meaningful ways. Expressing appreciation to people in your life strengthens relationships and creates positive feedback loops. When you thank someone for their kindness, they're more likely to be kind again. When you acknowledge someone's efforts, they feel valued and motivated. This simple practice, spending a few minutes each day identifying what you're grateful for, can gradually transform your relationship with your past, your present, and your future. Action step: start a 3 good things journal. Every evening for the next 30 days, write down 3 things that went well that day and why you think they went well. They can be big things, getting a promotion, or small things. A stranger smiled at you, your coffee tasted perfect, you helped someone. For each item, explain why you're grateful for it and what role you played in making it happen. Research shows this simple practice can significantly improve mood and life satisfaction within just 1 week. Your new beginning. As we reach the end of our journey together, I want you to understand something profound. You are not defined by your past. You are not limited by your mistakes. You are not condemned to repeat old patterns. You are not stuck in yesterday's story. You are a human being with the remarkable capacity for growth, change, and renewal. Every day you wake up, you have the opportunity to make different choices. Every moment you're alive, you have the power to redirect your path. Every breath you take is a chance to begin again. Your past has given you experience, some pleasant, some painful, all valuable. Your present gives you opportunity to learn, to grow, to connect, to contribute. Your future gives you hope for healing, for joy, for meaning, for love. The journey from past to future isn't always easy. There will be days when old memories feel overwhelming. There will be times when you question whether change is really possible. There will be moments when you're tempted to retreat into familiar patterns, even if they hurt you. But remember, every person who has ever transformed their life has faced these same doubts and challenges. What made the difference wasn't the absence of difficulty, but the presence of determination. What mattered wasn't whether they never fell down, but whether they kept getting back up. You have everything within you that you need for this journey. You have the wisdom gained from your experiences. You have the strength proven by your survival. You have the capacity for growth demonstrated by your very presence here, seeking to learn and change. Your new beginning starts now, not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel completely ready, not when you have all the answers. Now, with whatever you have, wherever you are, however you feel. Take the first step. Put down one stone from your backpack of the past. Replace one, if only, with what now? Ask what one painful experience has taught you. Forgive yourself for one mistake. Choose to move forward from one hurt. Focus on today instead of yesterday. Build one small piece of your future. Rewrite one sentence of your story. Reach out to one supportive person. Practice presence in this one moment. Create one new positive habit. Feel grateful for one blessing in your life. One step. One choice. One moment of courage. That's how every transformation begins. Your past is finished, but your story isn't over. The best chapters are still being written, and the author of those chapters is you. Welcome to your new beginning.